Welcome to another exciting Record Breakers, the show where we explore the outer limits of human achievement.
We travel the globe to bring you amazing world record attempts from the serious to the sublime.
Today we'll fall into some death-defying base jumping.
Hold your breath for the most dangerous diving in the world.
How about the wacky sport of backwards bowling?
And find out why the Spice Girls are in the record books.
From the biggest to the fastest, the strongest to the highest.
Let's meet the people who make the records and break the records. Get set for Record Breakers.
Here in Australia, we're attempting to break the world's longest continuous crawl. That's 55 kilometres on hands and knees. Suresh Wake is off and crawling, and we'll be checking on his progress throughout the program. This looks like a world record almost anyone could attempt.
Well, crawling might be an easy challenge, but for our first record breaker, Austrian high flyer Felix Baumgartner, the dizzy heights of Brazil are all about risk-taking. Felix has already made a spectacular base jump from the statue of Christ and lived to tell the tale. Today, Felix took 2 hours to climb this rock known as the Finger of God and waited another 5 hours until conditions were perfect. And here he goes. In less than a minute, the 32-year-old has become the first man to dive from the 1,675-metre mountain. What an amazing effort! This is certainly not a record attempt for the faint-hearted. Felix Baumgartner, adrenaline junkie and base jumping record breaker.
Germany for our next record attempt and join a university lecturer having the ride of his life. American Richard Rodriguez must have an ironclad stomach and an extra strong constitution, because this theme park fanatic has spent more than 7 weeks riding a roller coaster. Dubbed the king of the roller coaster, Richard's record-breaking ride consisted of 8 hours of continuous riding, followed by just a 15-minute break. And that's the routine that continued day and night, night and day for 7 weeks straight. Organisers called the record attempt close to impossible, but Richard just seemed to take all the ups and downs in his stride, even catching a few hours shut-eye while the roller coaster was in motion. A team of doctors were constantly on standby to monitor our record breaker and make sure he didn't suffer any health problems. And he's done it. With the record for the longest roller coaster ride broken, Richard Rodriguez can take his place in the Guinness Book of World Records. Now all Richard has to do is pay for his ticket, and after 7 straight weeks, that's going to be some bill.
He sealed a 7th successive Tour de France victory in 2005 and also holds the record for the fastest average speed in the same race. American cyclist and cancer survivor Lance Armstrong is truly an inspirational record breaker. The 33-year-old overcame life-threatening cancer before landing his first Tour de France victory back in 1999. And in following years, he beat the cycling world's best to retain his title again and again. In the 1999 Tour de France, Lance cycled at an average speed of 40.276 kilometers per hour, another world record for this amazing athlete. Lance Armstrong has stood on the podium a record-breaking 7 times in this prestigious event, an unprecedented achievement in the world's most grueling cycle road race, the Tour de France.
When it was built during the Ming Dynasty, the last thing the Chinese would have expected their Great Wall to be used for was a skate ramp. But US skateboard champion Danny Way did just that when he constructed a mega ramp on the Great Wall of China in the hope of adding to his collection of skateboarding world records. The 32-year-old X Games medalist skated down a start platform that was 36.5 metres high, leading to a gap of 27 metres across the wall. A 9.7-metre quarter pipe was used to send Danny flying in an attempt to sail more than 7.14 metres. He crashed spectacularly on his first jump, but succeeded on 4 subsequent leaps. However, he failed to land each time after his launch from the quarter pipe, invalidating his height attempts. Danny finally called it a day after crashing heavily again and injuring his shoulder, saying he feared causing himself permanent damage. Looks like this skateboard record remains up for grabs.
If there's one thing most women can't get enough of, it's shoes. But the price tag on these record-breaking stilettos might be a little out of reach. In 2002, these became the world's most expensive shoes when they were put on sale here at Harrods department store in London. Woven from platinum thread and encrusted with diamonds, these slingbacks will do some serious damage to your credit card, priced at a cool $1 million. But don't worry, you can pick up a rhinestone version for under $300.
A Slovakian man has bred the world's smallest dog, a Chihuahua weighing 850 grams.
Welcome back to Record Breakers. Throughout the show, we're bringing you all the action from the world's longest continuous crawl record attempt. And he's off and crawling.
We're in London for this record attempt, but we don't need a boarding pass. Instead of heading to the terminal, we're going straight to the runway as golf fanatics attempt to break the world record for long driving. Official world records for long driving have to be held on a golf course at sea level, but unofficial events like this take place on smooth surfaces where the ball is able to roll on for long distances. And this London airport runway is just perfect. Golf balls and turboprop aeroplanes were both taking off as sportsmen and women tried for the perfect swing, and it was all about putting a bit of muscle into the action.
And as we said before, a new unofficial world record of 720 yards from England, Paul Slater.
Congratulations, Paul. Now you have bragging rights for an unofficial world record.
How long can you hold your breath? 30 seconds? Maybe 45. Meet Tanya Streeter. This amazing record breaker can hold her breath for an incredible 3.5 minutes. Tanya currently holds a handful of freediving world records. So let's take a deep breath and dive into Tanya's world. The sport of freediving involves staying underwater for as long as possible on just one breath, and some freediving records require diving to incredible depths. This assault on the record books is in the variable ballast category, here in the Turks and Caicos Islands. This is only one of 4 deep freediving world records that Tanya hasn't held. So, should she be successful, it will be a moment in aquatic history. And she's done it! Diving to 122 metres and holding her breath for 3 minutes and 38 seconds, Tanya now holds the world record for variable weight free diving. It's enough to leave you breathless.
More record-breaking underwater, but this time our divers have the luxury of some breathing apparatus. We're in the Gulf of Thailand, where more than 700 divers descended into the deep to set a new Guinness World Record on the number of people simultaneously diving. Marine enthusiasts from around the globe converged on Teo Island to break a 2001 record set in South Africa when 592 people dived together. The sea was calm until 720 divers descended to a depth of 5 metres simultaneously to secure their place in the record books. And with the record firmly under their weight belts, the divers were free to take a closer look at the marine life.
Imagine spending 71 days alone on the world's most treacherous oceans. Why? Because there's a record to break. Record-breaking British yachtswoman Ellen MacArthur was given a hero's welcome at the English port of Falmouth after smashing the record for sailing solo round the world. After facing many dangerous situations, setbacks and extreme isolation, MacArthur crossed the finish line in 71 days, 14 hours, 18 minutes and 33 seconds. Her new time shaved more than 32 hours off the previous world record, and thousands of people travelled from across Britain to welcome this brave yachtswoman home. Ellen MacArthur, round the world solo sailing record breaker.
Most people go by elevator if they want to get to the 59th floor, but this Colombian cyclist, Javier Zapata, prefers to take the stairs. This is the sport of bike trailing, where riders of specially designed bicycles compete to maneuver through a series of sections without their feet touching the ground. Javier is credited with introducing the sport to Mexico and has set previous world records, including in Caracas, where he rode up 1,200 steps in 1 hour and 3 minutes. Today, the 30-year-old is trying to break his previous record by going up the 1,318 steps of the Torre Mayor building here in Mexico City. Through sheer determination, this athlete, who has taken the sport of mountain biking to an all-time high, has set a brand new world record, bike trailing 59 stories to the top of one of the 25 tallest buildings in the world. What an amazing record breaker!
Welcome back to Record Breakers. Our next challenge takes us to the Netherlands, where 2 students are trying to break a world record by riding a 28-metre long bicycle. Previously, the record was in the hands of an Italian team, but for the Dutch to steal the title, they had to ride their bicycle over a minimum distance of 100 metres. Cheered on by fellow students, the duo rode their giant bike well past the 100-metre mark, without the help of training wheels, and straight into the Guinness Book of World Records.
Our next record attempt is certainly not for the squeamish or the lactose intolerant. We're in Turkey for this challenge, and we're about to open your eyes to one of the more bizarre world records. Ilka Yilmaz is going for the repulsive record of milk squirting. Yes, believe it or not, Yilmaz is squirting milk through his eye. Part man, part cow. He sucks milk through his nose and then somehow it comes squirting out of his eye. It's an amazing party trick that's guaranteed to gross out your guests. The milk squirted a distance of 2 metres 79 centimetres, and Guinness World Record officials were there to declare Ilka Yilmaz the new world record holder in milk eye squirting. Congratulations, Ilka. Here's milk in your eye.
From the grotesque to the downright ridiculous, the sport of 10-pin bowling is about to be looked at from a completely different angle when the man with the most current Guinness World Records strikes back. New Yorker Ashrita Furman has become famous in his own lunchtime, having broken 93 world records, and he's at it again. This time by trying to break the record for backwards bowling. Furman has to beat the last record of 139 points by at least 21, and admitted that this challenge looks easier than it really is, requiring intense concentration, though it hardly looks like brain surgery. And with a little applause, but mainly a lot of disinterest, Ashrita has added another record to the list, scoring a record-breaking 160 points. He's now officially the most backwards man in bowling.
But wait, there's more. Yes, Ashrita Furman still has a long list of records he'd love to break. So life must be a constant balancing act for the world's most prolific record breaker. This time, Ashrita Furman is in Egypt, where he's using the ancient pyramids as a backdrop for this next pointless record attempt. His challenge? To walk the furthest distance whilst balancing a billiard cue on the tip of his finger. It's hardly going to change the world, but I guess everyone needs a hobby. Judges were on location to make sure the cue was of the appropriate length and weight, and the distance was carefully measured in advance. And here he comes, right on cue. With strong winds, Ashrita's few supporters were doubtful that the man with the most current world records would add to his bizarre list. But, true to form, our serial record breaker came flying home, balancing the billiard cue on the tip of his finger for 11.3 kilometres, setting a new world record. For most of us, the care factor is a big fat zero. But with backwards bowling and billiard cue balancing locked away, we can only imagine what's next for Ashrita Furman. But I've got another idea for what he could do with that billiard cue.
Bill Gates, chairman of Microsoft, holds the record as the richest living person with a fortune of $46 billion.
Welcome back. In Sydney, Australia, our record breaker is still on hands and knees, getting closer to the world's longest continual crawl.
So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want.
Did you know that the Spice Girls are record breakers?
I wanna.
Yes, Posh, Sporty, Baby, Ginger and Scary share a world record with the Beatles for the most consecutive Christmas #1 singles in the UK.
Now don't go wasting.
The girls also had the best-selling single ever by a female group with Wannabe in 1996. It spent 7 weeks at #1 in the UK and sold 1.2 million copies.
I wanna really, really, really wanna say, if you wanna be my lover.
They also hold the record for the highest ever annual earnings by a girl band. Now that's a nice record to have.
Baby, I'm amazed at the way you love me all the time.
Ex-Beatles Sir Paul McCartney holds 22 Guinness World Records, including attracting the largest paying audience by a solo performer, playing to around 184,000 people in Rio de Janeiro in 1990.
As a group, the Beatles also hold a swag of world records, including having the most #1 hits on the US singles chart. The group notched up 20 #1 hits between 1964 and 1970.
George Harrison holds the record for being the first Beatle to have a #1 hit after the group disbanded.
Who's the family with the most stars on Hollywood's Walk of Fame? Drew Barrymore put her family into the Guinness Book of World Records when she became the 7th member of her famous acting clan to be honoured with one of the stars on the Walk of Fame.
I'm just a cool boy. I need no sympathy.
Queen's 6-minute epic Bohemian Rhapsody holds the record as Britain's favourite pop single of all time in a poll by Guinness World Records. The song first topped the charts in 1975 and became a #1 again in 1999 when a fundraising version was released after the death of lead singer Freddie Mercury. The song, written by Mercury, also continues to live on in the musical We Will Rock You. The video was also voted one of the best of all time. Bohemian Rhapsody, a record-breaking song, perhaps ahead of its time.
Michael Jackson holds the record for the most Grammy Awards won in a year by a single person. In 1984, Jackson won 8 Grammys, including Best Male Rock Vocal Performance for Beat It, Record of the Year with Beat It, and Album of the Year with Thriller. Michael Jackson, 1984, record breaker.
Well, that's it for this episode of Record Breakers. But as we crawl to the end of the show, let's see how things finished up for Suresh Wake, who was attempting the world's longest continuous crawl. With a total crawling time of more than 32 hours, Suresh has broken the record and earned his official place in the Guinness Book of World Records. And boy, is he glad it's over. Remember, if people are attempting it, record breakers are filming it.